Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. Well, Republicans should be thrilled with President Obama's State of the Union address. That's because the extremely limited vision of government he presented last night is pretty much what the Republicans plotted to create since day one of the Obama White House. In his fifth State of the Union address last night, you could say the president, the essence of his message was whatever, right? He essentially said he's going to go it alone. His major policy plan for 2014 is to bypass Congress altogether. What do you do when Congress is not going to do their job? It's right there in the Constitution. This is what you do. No, we're not going to do that. He's going to say, okay, tough luck. I can get some things done. The executive branch does have some powers. Not a lot of powers, but they do. Actually, they have spine powers and military. Yeah, actually, he does have a lot of power, but not so much to help out average working people, right? Because he can't appropriate and spend money. So anyhow, as part of his plan for his so-called year of action, the president said he's going to issue an order unilaterally raising the minimum wage for federal contract workers to $10.10 an hour. I mean, it's a nice start. Flurry of executive orders, it's better than nothing, but it's not the kind of bold change this country needs to undo the destruction caused by 33 years of Reaganomics. And somebody just needs to say that out loud. In the next few weeks, Republicans will no doubt say that Obama's plan to use his executive powers is proof that this guy is a tyrant and he's shredding the Constitution. Ignore their whining. A weakened president who has given up on pushing for broad reforms is exactly what the Republicans want. And they've been planning this moment since the day Obama took office. On January 20th, 2009, as Ellen Ratner and I were down at the Union Station dancing with Joe Biden and his wife and Barack Obama and his wife, it was the inaugural balls, right? Most Americans were out celebrating the end of the Bush years as much as they were the beginning of the Obama years. A group of powerful Republicans that very night was planning the end of the Obama presidency before it even really began. The Caucus Room restaurant right here in Washington, D.C., down at the corner of, I think it's D and 9th. Republican leaders drew up a plan to intentionally sabotage President Obama at every point possible. The guest list, this was an invitation-only meeting. They had a private room. Republican Congressman Eric Cantor, Paul Ryan, Kevin McCarthy, Pete Sessions, Jeb Hensarling, Pete Hoekstra, Dan Lundgren. That's from the House of Representatives. From the Senate, Jim DeMint, John Kyle, Tom Coburn, John Ensign, and Bob Corker. It was all orchestrated by Republican propaganda mastermind Frank Luntz, and Newt Gingrich was there too. Over the course of 4 hours, this group of the most powerful conservative lawmakers in the country committed to a plan of action. They promised each other that they would filibuster and obstruct any and all legislation supported by the new President Obama. Newt Gingrich came on my radio program last year, just a few months ago, actually, and actually bragged that the whole reason for the dinner was to come up with a plan to undermine President Obama. He said, hey, we're the opposition. That's what you do. You oppose. Flash forward 5 years later. And it's pretty clear that caucus room conspiracy has worked like a charm. Except for a brief period during his first year in office when the president pushed through health care reform and financial reform, Obama basically hasn't been able to get anything done. I mean, that first year, actually, he did get a lot done. But since then, he ended the Iraq War. That's a pretty big deal. And he's winding down Afghanistan. But Republicans have blocked his nominees. They filibustered his bills. They even shut down the government. All about, we're going to defund Obamacare. Right. You know why this year's State of the Union address sounded like basically last year's State of the Union address? Because Republicans in Congress have made it pretty much impossible for President Obama to get anything done. Just this past year, they killed gun control. They sat on immigration reform. They froze efforts to raise the minimum wage. They refused to extend unemployment benefits. So basically, Obama says, okay, that's it. Screw it. I'm going to go it alone. I'm going to get things done with executive orders. He gave up. He all but said, the caucus room conspiracy has succeeded. Right? Somewhere Frank Luntz is smiling. I think progressives should, in general principle, support the president as he works to make a year of action a reality. But we really need to be demanding more than just this small-scale strategy. We should demand that the president call out Republican sabotage for what it is, a naked, shameless plan to protect the interests of the richest Americans at the expense of everyone else. This was this big debate back on January 20th. Josh Kraushaar, I believe it is, writing in the National Journal, about how, the headline says it all. Divided Democrats put Obama in a State of the Union squeeze. Liberals want the president to tackle income inequality. Moderates want him to focus on economic growth. What I think he needs to do is to match the Republicans point for point. He needs to do what Harry Truman did back in 1948 and call them out for being the party of special interests. But there's a very good chance that he's not, it's a certainty. He's not going to stick it to the GOP. He's not going to pull a Harry Truman. He's been in office for 5 years. And he's not been willing to really do that, bully pulpit kind of politics like Harry Truman did and FDR did. I think part of this has to do with the president himself. At his core, he's not a bleeding blue progressive. He's a kind of a Clinton Democrat, kind of person Beltway types call a moderate. He'll support liberal causes. He'll bring the fight to the Republicans, but he's only going to do it when he's pushed hard enough. And that's where we come in, we the people. If we want President Obama to do more than just sign executive orders, if we want him to start calling out the Republicans, if we want him to be engaging in progressive policies, we have to start organizing from the ground up. And maybe it's not even going to be President Obama. Maybe it's going to be, whoever's next. We need to do what the Tea Party did. Start taking over local political bodies, precinct committees. Take over the local political parties. We need to rally behind the Elizabeth Warrens of the country, the Elizabeth Warren wing of the Democratic Party, people who can single-handedly shift the debate around issues like student loans and Social Security reform, because the stakes couldn't be higher. We're now more than halfway through the second two-term Democratic presidency in the past 2 decades. We should not be missing this opportunity. The demographics are shifting in favor of the progressives, but the country is still stuck in Reaganomics. And Republicans have, by and large, neutered this president, and there is still, I still think there's a chance for real change, the kind that Obama promised when he first came to Washington. But that kind of change is only going to happen if we rally together, if we call out Republicans for conspiring to bring down the White House, the Obama White House, and if we push the president to the left. I mean, President Obama may be saying, oh, cool, I got my year of action and we'll do a few little things here and there. I don't think that's enough. We need to be doing an inside-out strategy. The inside, get into political office, get into the party or parties, pick one, and the outside, join groups that are not associated with political parties and start getting active.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
I think if anything, the president's speech last night really told me it's a tag you're it moment for all the rest of us.